Murder in the morning from the Hidden Killers podcast.
A cold case, 37 years in the making, being reopened in Florida. It's of a real estate developer, Shirley Brant. Why is it being reopened? Well, you guessed it, that pesky DNA.
It'll get you every time.
That may end up leading to, some answers here. I don't want to say necessarily an arrest, because we're talking 37 years ago. Are we going to get somebody here on this? I don't know. A chilling unsolved mystery that's haunted North Miami Beach now for 37 years. Shirley Brant, a successful commercial real estate developer. It remains a very painful chapter in that community's history. However, there's newfound hope as police have reopened the case, counting on advancements in DNA technology to potentially bring justice to that grieving family. Detective Pam Denham of the North Miami Beach Police, who reopened the case alongside her partner, Yvette Darden, shared the significance of seeking closure. So important to give these families closure. And it does happen. Cold cases are solved, and that's what we're hoping to do. If you're going to go back in time here, it goes back to June 13th of 1986. At around 4 o'clock, when two intruders entered a second-floor office where Shirley Brant worked. At the moment, she was in the office reception area, engaged in a phone call with a client. According to Denham, a temporary employee present at the office witnessed the horrifying events. There was a witness that was a temporary employee, and she was inputting data into a computer system, Denham explained. And the next thing she knew, Shirley screamed, and then when she turned around, she saw that one of the males was attempting to take the phone away from Shirley. And the witness heard her say, "Don't shoot," and then she was shot. Denham believes the incident escalated rapidly, suggesting that during a struggle, the assailant may have unintentionally discharged the firearm. The witness, now deceased, described the suspects as well-dressed black males in their early 20s, possibly dressed professionally to avoid drawing attention. The perpetrators fled the scene after stealing cash and credit cards. Investigators are exploring the possibility that the same individuals might have been involved in a purse theft from another office a prior week, leaving no stone unturned. Despite extensive media coverage and the circulation of composite sketches of one suspect, the case remained cold. Previous detectives had followed up on leads, but none proved substantial enough to solve the case. Shirley Brant's untimely death left a lasting scar on her family, especially her husband, local dentist Dr. Lawrence Brant, who never got over it, as stated by her son, Dr. Stephen Brant. Dr. Brant fondly remembered his mother as a very, very talented woman who transitioned from singing on cruise ships in the 1960s to becoming a real estate agent. She eventually excelled in the commercial real estate sector despite facing initial skepticism due to her gender. Shirley Brant and her husband were also actively involved in Jewish causes, even experiencing tense moments during a trip to Russia while advocating for Soviet Jews during the, I can never say this correctly, Rufusnik movement. Dr. Stephen Brant last saw his mother 2 weeks before her tragic death, and he reflects on her absence in his life and the lives of her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Despite the decades that have passed, the family remains hopeful that the case will finally be resolved. Dr. Brant expressed the importance of finding closure and seeing justice served, emphasizing the indelible impact of the loss. Detective Denham echoes the sentiment, hoping that the renewed interest in the case will encourage individuals with information to come forward. People move away. They're not as fearful as they would have been when it actually happened, she noted. We're just hoping that somebody heard something or knows something and that they're willing to come forward. Anyone possessing information related to Shirley Brant's murder is urged to contact the North Miami Beach Police Department. The number is 305-949 5500 extension 2521, or reach out to the Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this, with new DNA technology and what exactly they're finding as far as why they think that they have something here that's new that can maybe lead to some answers.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing for the family if they actually can get some closure. You and I were talking before we started recording. I had mentioned off air that my mom had gone into real estate as a second career path. And I was always fearful that something would happen because she was female. It was the 90s. She was, alone. There weren't the cameras that we have in homes now. And I looked up like attacks on real estate agents. And There's a lot of articles out there. It talks about how risky your job is. 9% of agents say they've been attacked or threatened at work. 5% carry a gun to defend themselves. The reason is because they normally work alone. If they're doing an open house, they're usually alone. So if they're female, they could be a target. They work with people they don't know very well. They can't control where the properties are located. They could be in bad parts of town. And it's all relying on public advertising. I mean, if you drive down the road and you see a billboard of like a real estate agent, there's their face, hi, this is what I look like. So, if there's some freak out there who decides, ooh, that's somebody I'd like to go after, well, there you go.
I agree. I mean, it's very easily to be a potential target. Although the reality is, that's a billboard. There's far more on social media today that people have zero regard for with what they put out there. Far more provocative, I would argue, than what you even see on a billboard. That would also, I think, drive the same sort of horrible human being to stalk someone down. And it's a scary thing with things like that. I think the best thing anyone can do these days is, you have more ways of documenting where you're at. There's cameras that can be run and streamed live. I certainly would encourage having a weapon on you if you needed that. But I mean, is it more dangerous today or less dangerous today? We have more ways that people put themselves out there in ways that could potentially attract horrible human beings. But at the same point, we have also more ways of tracking where everyone is at any given time, or exposing where someone is at any given time, if they don't want to be seen.
Yeah, and that's really true. I guess my concern is, these agents are sitting in these homes by themselves typically. The open house is from whatever time to whatever time, and anybody can come in. So, could that happen anywhere? You stop at a Quick Trip and get gas and, somebody decides I'm going to take out the whole place. Yeah, absolutely. But it feels creepy to me. Something about it just feels creepy that you're sitting in somebody else's home. You're sitting there waiting for strangers to come in. It's weird. It's like trick or treating, but they come in the house. It is, especially when their pets start talking to you. There you go. Telepathically. That's always a weird moment in time. But no, it is weird. It is what it is. It is that profession. It kind of comes along with the territory, I think. But yeah, it's not certainly for everyone by any stretch of the imagination. I think you're much more of a sitting duck, quite honestly, in the 80s or 90s than you are today. Correct, yeah. But at the same point, it's one of those things where precautions need to be taken. But this wasn't even that. This was in her office with people that came up there and killed her. And what's the motivation there? Was this a robbery gone horribly wrong, or did something happen? I mean, it almost, in some ways, sounds like it could have been a hit. Like, was there a bad real estate deal or something that somebody wanted revenge on? We don't really know that either. But DNA. Well, I can't imagine there'd be a lot of cash sitting around a real estate office. No. This is all happening through banks. It's not, that they have a safe of money with hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting there. It's weird. I don't know. It's an interesting one, and hopefully DNA can bring some answers.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts. You get every episode commercial-free, so you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.